In this step, we'll be attaching the front apron to the top panel. Take the apron part H and align the holes to the front of the top panel part C, making sure the unfinished or brown edge is facing down. Use 3 pieces of part 7 flathead screw to attach the apron to the top panel. Next, use 4 pieces of cam bolts part 10 to prepare the bottom of the top panel. Be careful to make sure that you're screwing in the cam bolts straight up and down, or it'll make it very hard to attach the side panel in later steps. Next, you'll screw in the wall anchor. Be sure not to skip this step as to avoid a tipping. Next, prepare the braces that will go between the shelves. Attach cam locks, making sure the arrow of the cam lock faces the edge of the board. This will ensure that the cam bolt inserts properly into the lock. Next, push in the dowels, paying close attention not to stick them into the cam holes. Take 3 of the left cabinet members and align them in the holes on part A. Note that these have a stamp with a metal arrow facing the glide wheel and the letters TL on them. Pay attention to the orientation of the board and the ball glides. They should look identical with the ball on the right side. Screw in the cabinet members using part 2. You'll need 9 of these screws. Next, screw in 2 cam bolts, paying attention to make sure that they're straight up and down. Next, affix 2 cam locks on the left side, and then finally, push in the dowel next to one of the cam locks closest to you. Step 4. Lift up the left side panel and lay it over the front leg, part U. Take a screw, part 5, and place it through the side panel and line up the hole in the front leg. Repeat this process for the second screw in the front leg. Again, repeat this process for the third and fourth screw, screwing it into the rear rail, part Z, using the provided holes in both pieces. In step 5, we're repeating the same process we used in the previous 2 steps on the right side. Take 3 of the right cabinet members, note they have stamped into the metal an arrow facing the right glide wheel with the letters RT in, and aligning them to the holes in part B. Pay attention to the orientation of the board and the ball glides, as they should look identical with the ball facing the left side. Screw in the cabinet members using part 2, you'll need 9 of these. Next, screw in the 2 cam bolts, paying attention that they're straight up and down. Next, you'll attach 2 cam locks into the right side of the board, make sure the V is facing out, and lastly, attaching a dowel. Step 6. Lift up the right side panel and lay it over the front leg, part U. Take a screw, part 5, and place it through the side panel and line it up with the hole in the front leg. Repeat this process for the second screw in the front leg. Repeat the same process for attaching the rear rail, part Z. Make sure you line up the screw holes and then screw in the 2 screws, part 5. In step 7, we'll be attaching the feet to the bottom panel. Take part 8, a 2-inch flathead screw, and push it through the top of the bottom panel. The top is the side with a single hole, while the bottom has 3 smaller holes in each corner for smaller screws. Take the feet and manually screw them in by hand before screwing them in with a screwdriver while holding the foot with your other hand. Repeat this process for all 4 feet. Once you're done with that, you'll line up the screw holes and continue by placing 3 screws, part 3, a panhead screw, into the pilot holes located around the feet. Repeat this process for each of the 4 feet, and you're done with step 7. Take the left side panel and lay it perpendicularly to the bottom panel. This is the easiest so that the bottom panel is resting on its back feet. Note the orientation of the left side panel. Place 2 screws into the bottom of the side panel, attaching the 2. Using 2 pieces part G, attach to the left side panel and tighten the cam lock. Next, we'll repeat the same process for the right side panel part B, affixing the brackets to the right side panel. We'll screw in 2 pieces part 8 from underneath the bottom panel. Finally, we'll tighten the cam locks for both brackets, making sure that they're tight with the right turn of our screwdriver. Step 11. Align the top panel so that the front apron is facing the wheel side of the drawer glides. Slightly push down so that the cam bolts are inserted into the cam lock, and tighten the 2 cams on both sides of the panel. Repeat this process for the left side, tightening the cam locks until they're fully tightened and the top panel is fully seated. Step 12. Nailing in the back panels. Using 28 nails, part 13, start by aligning the back panel so the wall anchor cutout is on the top of the dresser. Next, make sure all 4 sides are evenly spaced on the unit. Nail in 7 screws per side, making sure to space them out evenly. It's important not to skip this step, as the back panel makes the unit stable, and without it, it will wobble. Step 13. Attaching the drawer brackets to the drawer sides. Pay close attention to the orientation of the brackets. They should be placed on the inside of the drawer or on the side with the line etched into the top. You will know the placement is correct because the bracket holes only fit on one side, the wider holes. Repeat this process on each drawer side. Next, use 2 pieces of part 1 small panhead screw with each drawer side piece to secure the bracket in place. It seems easiest to push the screws in a little before using a screwdriver to tighten. Repeat the same process on each of the 6 drawer sides until complete. Step 14. Hammering the dowels into the drawer braces. First, prepare the braces by inserting the cam lock into each of the 3 pieces part L. Next, take the compression dowel and hammer it into each side, making sure that it's inserted about half of the length of the total compression dowel. Repeat the same process for the remaining. Step 15. Insert a cam bolt into the top of the drawer front part P. The bolt should be on the right side if the notch line across the drawer is facing up. Next, take 4 pieces part 1 and screw in the attached drawer sides. Make sure that the etched lines on the sides and front of the drawer are lined up so that the drawer bottom glides easy on all 3 sides in a future step. Again, it's easiest if you push the screw in a little to set it before you screw it in tight on each of the drawer sides. Continue the same process as the previous drawer for the middle drawer. Part J. Screw in the cam bolt on the right side. Use 4 pieces of part 1 panhead screw and attach the drawer sides. Remember, it's easiest if you push the screw in a little before screwing it in with the screwdriver. Remember to make sure that the etched lines on the sides and the front of the drawer are lined up so that the bottom drawer slides in easy on all 3 sides. Using the same process as you have for the previous 2 drawers, complete the 3rd drawer using a cam bolt for the middle and then attaching the drawer sides to the front of the bottom drawer. Remember to make sure that the etched lines on the sides and the front of the drawer are lined up so that the bottom drawer slides in easy on all 3 sides. Step 16. In this step, you will finish assembling the drawer box. Get your hammer ready. Take the drawer brace, part L, and align the cam lock to the cam bolt on the drawer front, part P. Use your hammer to get the compression dowel fully seated. Then, finally, tighten the cam bolt. Slide in the drawer bottom. Pay close attention to the orientation. The finished side, which has a design on it, should be facing away from the drawer base you just secured. Next, place the drawer back onto the sides and brace, lining up the holes in the middle. Using your hands, place 6 plastic fasteners, part 4, 2 on each side and 2 into the drawer brace. Using your hands makes it easier for you to use your hammer later on. Finally, hammer in all 6 of the fasteners, 2 on each side and 2 in the drawer brace. Step 17, we're going to continue with the same process we used on the last trace, part L, and align it to the cam lock and the cam bolt on the drawer front. Use your hammer to get the compression dowel fully seated, and then tighten the cam bolt. Next, slide in the drawer bottom. Pay close attention to orientation and make sure that that finished side, which has the design on it, is facing away from the drawer brace you just secured. Next, affix the drawer back, making sure that you align the holes on the drawer brace to the holes in the middle of the back. Hand tighten the plastic fasteners before hammering them both in. Turn the drawer on its side and take 2 fasteners and secure them by hand before hammering them both in till they're fully tightened. Turn the drawer on its other side and do the same process once again. Time to complete our last drawer, part J, the middle drawer. Start by hammering in the middle brace and then tightening the cam lock. Now slide in the drawer bottom. Again, pay close attention to orientation. Make sure the finished side, which is the design on it, is facing away from the drawer brace you just secured. Next, place your drawer back to the drawer sides and brace, lining up the holes in the middle of the drawer back to the drawer brace. Manually tighten 2 plastic fasteners and then hammer them in. Turn the drawer on its side and manually hand tighten 2 plastic fasteners. Next, hammer them in until they're fully seated. Turn the drawer on its other side and repeat the same process. Step 19, attaching the drawer runners to the drawer sides. For this step, you'll need one side of each drawer runner. Pay attention to orientation for the drawer runners. Notice that the ball wheel glide is facing the back of the drawer on the drawer side. Attach 2 screws for each drawer runner. Turn the drawer on its other side and attach the right runner. Again, paying close attention to orientation that the wheel is in the back side with the wheel facing towards the drawer opening. Fasten the 2 screws and you're done with this part of the step. Next, you have the choice of 2 different knobs with this dresser, so choose the knob of your liking. Insert the truss head screw part 6 from the back of the drawer front, then use your screwdriver to hold the screw steady while hand tightening the knob from the front side of the drawer. Complete on the other side. You're done with this drawer. For the second drawer, we'll use the same process we did on the first. Attaching the drawer runners, making sure that the wheels are facing towards the drawer back. Then, attach 2 screws, part 2, on each drawer runner. Complete the same process on the other side and attach the 2 screws to the drawer runner. Now we'll attach the knobs. Use a truss head screw part 6 and insert from the back of the drawer. Then use your screwdriver to hold the screw steady while hand tightening the knob from the front side of the drawer. On to the last drawer. We'll repeat the same process we did for the previous 2 drawers on the last drawer. Attach the drawer runner, making sure the wheels are facing towards the drawer back. Using 2 screws, part 2, on each drawer runner. Use the same process on the other side. Insert the truss head screw from the back, using your screwdriver to hold the screw steady while hand tightening the knob from the front. Once you do it on both sides, you're done with that drawer. The last step in assembly is inserting the drawers into the dresser. To do this, insert at a slightly upward angle, make sure that the wheels cross each other and that the drawer inserts smoothly into the dresser. Do this for all 3 drawers and you're done with assembly. Thanks for watching.